So here I am doing another squat workout. I'm making sure that I'm properly warmed up, so I'll do the movement, perform the movement very slowly, up and down. I mean, just with the bar, sometimes I'll be a little bit faster, but once I start moving up in weight, you'll see I slow down the movement quite a bit just to make sure that everything is warmed up and the blood flow is in the area, and I'm not tweaking anything prematurely, because as a person that has experienced the beautiful experience or sensation of a back explosion, because not paying attention to what's happening in the body and just racking the weight and going up to something that feels comfortable on one level for strength to me, but not paying attention to the subtleties that can happen when the vertebrae are out of alignment or the hips are out of alignment and so forth. When you pay attention to these things, you start to realize how important they are to prevent injury. And if something is not in alignment, you don't want to be just going right to your goal weight and lifting it without making sure everything's fine. I guess it's like checking the air in your tires before you take a big jump, like Evel Knievel or something. So yeah, you'll notice that I'm moving up and down fairly slowly with the weight, and I do this for the first 3 or 4 warm-up sets just to make sure, and I may continue actually in my heavy sets this way. I may continue using slow repetitions. I know many trainers that use the HIIT method, they really accentuate the eccentric part of the movement. So they really move the weight down slowly to make sure they're really challenging the muscle fibers. And they're not thinking about how much weight they can lift, because it's a matter of how you lift the weight. And this is also something that's really helped me out, because I don't have to load the bar up with 400 or 500 pounds now. I can stay at 200 or 300 pounds, but if I'm moving the weight up and down slowly, the challenge on the muscle is quite deep. I mean, the burn gets pretty intense. So you'll find that you can actually build intensity in different ways than just by loading weight on your back. And the irony is, at some point, because you're finding perfect groove and perfect alignment, you could actually rehabilitate the area so that lifting heavy weight may be possible again for you. So it's something to think about if you are one of those people that has some injuries to work around and you're not able to use a significant amount of weight in your training, but you do want to challenge yourself still. Just slow down the movements, slow down the repetitions, and see what happens. So here I am, I'm just moving up to 225. And I just want to talk about something else, It's important for you when you're training to establish a lot of gratitude towards being able to train, being able to work out. I mean, I find some people get so wrapped up in their goals and ambitions that they forget that it's a beautiful experience to be able to, push yourself and to be able to move in different ways and to be able to challenge yourself. So what I do is I find different ways to appreciate what I'm doing and have fun with it. I'm not thinking about the goal in the future. I'm thinking about, okay, how can I achieve what I want right now, which is a relationship with my body and the weights. Now, don't get me wrong. I take this training business very seriously. I take it so seriously that there's never a time of laughter or smiling or anything. I mean, if you want to actually achieve something, you're going to have to take this stuff very seriously. I mean, I'm probably the most serious person you've ever met. So here I am moving up in weight here, 225, still another warm-up set, but I will be moving up to 295 very shortly. But if there's anything that you guys have as questions or you're curious about, just let me know. Just put it down on the link below, or make a comment or something, ask a question, and I can answer your question based on what I do know. Anyway, I mean, there's lots of stuff that I don't know, but based on my 20-something years experience in training, perhaps I can answer your question. But as you can see here, there's a decent amount of depth there, but by no means does depth dictate muscle growth. I mean, some people out there think that stretching the muscle to the extreme is the most important thing. And I have made a video on range of motion, and I will elaborate on this here too. And it's really not necessary to stretch the crap out of the muscle. Sometimes a small movement with enough weight or enough of a load can be enough to stimulate the muscle to grow. So what I would suggest to you is to always cater your workout based on what's safe first, and second, what you think is the optimal, perfect way to perform a movement. Because everybody is built a little differently, and some people try to do a movement the same way someone else does, and their hips might be angled differently, their knees may be different, their ankles might be less flexible or more flexible. So it's really important for you to listen to this in your body to really know what is right for me, not what is Joe or Susan doing. Really pay attention to what is going on with your body and where you're feeling the pain. Are you feeling the burn in the muscle belly, or are you feeling it closer to the joint? And that's usually a pretty good hint to let you know whether your range of motion is too extreme. If you're feeling all the pressure close to the joint, there's a chance that is not the right range of motion for you. So yeah, keep that in mind. And like I said, when you train, then you use that as your benchmark. You use that as your way of knowing or catering your own type of workout and your repetitions to the way that your body feels quite right. Now, again, this isn't to do with laziness. I mean, a lot of people think that if you don't go all the way down or you don't stretch out all the, that it's just you're cheating or you're lazy. Well, that's just basically people out there that are intimidated by someone lifting more weight than them, and they're competing, and they're afraid that if someone can lift more than them or something, that means that person's better. But if you're actually approaching this whole process from a scientific point of view, you would basically just bear in mind that you are here to stimulate the muscle and to get in shape and not injure yourself. That's the first priority. So yeah, that's what I just did some squats there. And then I'm going to move over to some stiff-legged deadlifts. Now, this is a movement that many people have some misunderstanding around. When you notice that I'm doing the stiff-legged deadlift here, I'm bending the knees. Okay, so it's more like the knees are locked in a certain position, but that doesn't mean they're extended. A lot of people, they'll do a stiff-legged deadlift by locking their knees out and rounding their back when they come down. And they're really not stretching the hamstring anymore doing that. They're really just stretching the tendons behind the knees and risking a hamstring tear. So as you can see, what I do is more closer to what you would call a Romanian deadlift. See, so I'm arching the back, because the arch in the back is what is going to give you the stretch in the hamstring. And you notice the knees do bend, and when you do bend the knees, you're protecting the joints and the tendons. So the most important part I can teach you about the stiff-legged deadlift is that you can work your hamstrings without risking tearing, your tendons from the bone. I know so many people that have actually torn hamstrings doing stiff-legged deadlifts. So yeah, don't be a statistic. Don't let that happen to you. As you can see, I use constant tension on the muscle. I don't come up all the way and lean back. I'm keeping the tension on the muscle the entire time. And I would say constant tension is a really important principle that most professionals or people that have been in this game for a long time, they use the constant tension principle. So they're always keeping the muscle under strain or under stress, and that also does sometimes free up the joints as well, because the muscles do protect the joints. But once again, most importantly, don't forget to celebrate your accomplishments.